Hey everyone! Today our group is going to talk about the structure of pores in fungi. Today's lesson will also tackle about the objectives of the lab assessment, what is a spore, structures of fungi, economical and ecological importance of fungi, examples of fungi, and the conclusion and recommendations for this lab assessment.
There were three main objectives in this laboratory assessment. First is to describe the structure and characteristics of spores in fungi. Second is to know the functions of spores in the kingdom. And lastly is to understand the structure of the fungi and its species. These objectives are achieved by accomplishing the activities using the combined knowledge and cooperation of each members of the group in order to understand the content of the laboratory. The fungi and bacteria can reproduce without mating at all. Instead, they produce hardy structures that are known to be spores. Spores, apart from it could produce asexually, it was also described as a single-celled reproductive unit of non-flowering plants, bacteria, fungi, and algae. Additionally, spores are known for its tough structure since they could withstand any given condition, even if it's harsh or nasty. Spores serves two primary roles. First is to disperse, and second is to be able to survive and endure the condition. By means of surviving, they are able to survive through the harshness and humidity of the condition through the help of their thick walls. Spores also serve as a huge resting dormant, which is known to be a type of bacteria. The spore production is most common among Basilicus and Clostridium bacteria. Some of the species are known to be the cause of the disease. Hence, many of bacterial spores are highly durable and can germinate even after many years has passed, due to the dormancy. Moreover, through a process called sporogenesis, this is where the production of spores starts, and this can be achieved through mitosis and cellular reproduction. This is the primary reason for a spores to grow and thrive in the environment. By means of thriving, they can be seen anywhere in the world. Some spores are really light, so they are blown into the wind, while other spores are along the river and the streams.
Now let us move on to the structure of fungi. Fungi cells have a nucleus and organelles like plant and animal cells. There are unique features in the cell wall and membrane of fungi. Fungal cell walls contain chitin as opposed to the cellulose found in the cell walls of plants and many protists. Additionally, whereas animals have cholesterol in their cell membrane, fungal cell membranes have different stroles called ergosterols, and these are often exploited as targets for antifungal drugs. The thallus or the body of a mold consists of a long, branching filaments of cells joined together, and these filaments are called hyphae. Hyphae can grow to immense proportions. In fact, the giant fungus covers 8.9 square kilometers in an Oregon forest that's about the size of a small city. The fungus didn't even grow that large overnight, and it's estimated to be 2,400 years old, and it's still growing up until now. Except for yeast, which grow as single cells, most fungi grow as thread-like filaments. The filaments are called hyphae. Each hypha consists of one or more cells surrounded by a tubular cell wall. A mass of hyphae make up the body of a fungus, which is called a mycelium. The hyphae of most fungi are divided into cells by internal walls called septa. Septa usually have little pores that are large enough to allow ribosomes, mitochondria, and sometimes nuclei to flow among cells. Hyphae that are divided into cells are called septate hyphae. However, the hyphae of some fungi are not separated by septa. Therefore, hyphae without septa are called choanocytic hyphae. Choanocytic hyphae are big and multinucleated cells. Hyphae grow by elongating at the tips. Each part of hyphae is capable of growth, and when a fragment breaks off, it can elongate to form new hyphae. In the laboratory, fungi are usually grown from fragments obtained from a fungal thallus. Portion of a hyphae that obtains nutrients is called the vegetative hyphae, while the portion that is concerned with reproduction is the reproductive or aerial hyphae. Lastly, when environment conditions are suitable enough, the hyphae grow to form a filamentous tangled mass called a mycelium, which is visible to the unaided eye, and a mycelium may range in size from microscopic to very large. Now let us discuss the types or groups of fungi. The first one is Chytridiomycota, which is often called chytrids. Chytrids, the organisms found in Chytridiomycota are usually aquatic and microscopic. They are usually asexual and produce spores that move around using flagella, which is a small tail-like appendages. One example is the chytrid Batrachochytrium dendrobatidis can cause a fungal infection in frogs by burrowing under their skin, and it has recently devastated populations of harlequin frogs, killing off two-thirds of them in Central and South America. The second one is Zygomycota that took their name from their method of sexual reproduction involving the production of conjugating gametangia. Zygomycetes are mainly terrestrial and fed off of plant detritus or decaying animal material. They also cause problem by growing on human food sources. One example of a zygomycete is Rhizopus stolonifer, which is a bread mold. The third one is glomeromycetes, and these make up half of all fungi found in soil, and they often form mycorrhizae with plants. In fact, 80 to 90% of all land plants develop mycorrhizae with glomeromycetes. The fungi obtain sugars from the plant and in return dissolve minerals in the soil to provide the plant with nutrients. These fungi also produce or reproduce asexually. The fourth one is Ascomycota, also called sac fungi, has been shown to be the largest phylum of fungi as compared to the other phyla discussed previously. Ascomycetes are often pathogens of plants and animals, including humans, in which they are responsible for infections like athlete's foot, ringworm, and ergotism, which causes vomiting, convulsions, hallucinations, and sometimes even death. However, some ascomycetes normally are found inside humans, such as Candida albicans, which is a yeast that lives in the respiratory, gastrointestinal, and female reproductive tracts. The last one is Basidiomycota, which contains about 30,000 described species, that is 37% of the described species of true fungi. Basidiomycota are found in virtually all terrestrial ecosystems as well as freshwater and marine. Like ascomycetes, basidiomycetes also produce sexual spores called basidiospores. In cells, it is called basidia. Basidia are usually club-shaped, and basidiomycetes are also known as a club fungi. Most basidiocytes reproduce sexually, and mushroom is one common example of basidiomycetes.
Ecological importance of fungi. Fungi plays an important role in the balance of ecosystems. They grow on a forest floor where the dark and damp environment is rich in decaying debris from plants and animals. In these environments, fungi plays as decomposers and recyclers, making it possible for members of the other kingdom to be supplied with nutrients to live. Economical importance of fungi. Fungi ranges from hundreds of species, and some of their species serves great economic importance to us humans. Fungi also plays important roles and vary its specific function in medicine yielding antibiotics and agriculture by maintaining the fertility of the soil. Fungi is also an important research tool in the study of the biological processes. Even in farming industries, fungi is included. There are numbers of industrial processes in which the biochemical activities of a certain fungi are harnessed to good account.
Ecological and economical importance of fungi. Fungi ranges from hundreds of species and some of these species serve great economic importance to us humans. These fungi plays an important role and vary from its specific functions. Some in medicine, yielding antibiotics, some in agriculture by maintaining the fertility of the soil. Some of the fungi can be of importance as research tools in the study of fundamental biological processes, and some even forming basis of many industries and as important means of food. Role of fungi in medicine. In medicine, some fungi produce substances that has the ability to cure diseases caused by pathogenic microorganisms, and these substances are what we call as the antibiotics. Antibiotics are organic substances produced by microorganisms which enables the growth of certain other microorganisms. Molds produce most important antibiotics such as actinomycetes. They are used to combat negative effects of pathogenic bacteria and viruses. The use of antibiotics is not limited to disease treatment. It can also be used in preservation of freshly slaughtered meat in a long period of time. Alexander Fleming was the one who discovered the role of fungi in producing antibiotic substances during 1922. He was the one to extract the great antibiotic drug penicillin from Penicillium notatum. It was the first antibiotic to be widely used. Role of fungi in industry. Fungi's role in the industrial means are plenty and varies in function. Most of the fungi form the basis of many important industries. There are a number of industrial processes in which the biochemical activities of certain fungi are harnessed to good account. For example, in alcoholic fermentation, brewing and baking are two important industries not only in India, but rather all over the world. Both are dependent on the fact that the fermentation of sugar solutions by yeasts produces ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. In brewing or winemaking industry, alcohol is an important product. And in cheese industry, cheese molds will be discussed later on. Vitamins making. Yeasts are unicellular fungi that replicate by either even or uneven cell division, are also known to be the best source of vitamin B complex. A number of preparations of high potency have been made from the dried yeast or yeast extract and sold in the market. A number of molds and yeasts are also used in the synthesis of ergosterol, which inhibits the vitamin D, riboflavin, or another vitamin useful both in animal and human food that is obtained from the filamentous yeast Ashby gossypi. Role of fungi in agriculture. Fungi play both a negative and a positive role in agriculture. Let us first tackle the negative role. Fungi has a negative value because they are the causative agents of various diseases of crops, fruits, and other economic plants. These fungal diseases take a heavy toll and cause a lot of economic losses. There are over 30,000 different diseases estimated, including bacterial and virus, attacks the economic plants grown for food or commercial purposes, such as damping off diseases, the potato blight, downy mildews of grapes, ergot disease of rye, destruction of timber, destruction of textiles, and destruction of paper. Let's proceed to the positive role of fungi. Some soil fungi are beneficial to agriculture because they maintain the fertility of the soil. Fungi such as saprophytic, particularly in acid soils where bacterial activity is at its minimum, is responsible for the decay and decomposition of dead bodies of plants and their waste, making up various organic compounds, cellulose, and lignin by secreting enzyme. Some of these return to the soil to form humus and the rest of the air from where they can again be used as raw materials for the synthesis of food. Role of fungi as food and as food producers. Many species of fungi are edible. About 2,000 species of them have been found from all over the world, and about 200 are said to occur in the western Himalayas that are known to be good and edible. Many edible fungi are of great economic value as a food because they are labeled as delicacies of the table. Yeasts and some filamentous fungi are valuable sources of vitamins of the B complex. Although a few of the mushrooms are fatally poisonous and some causes only discomfort, there are also some mushrooms like the M. agaricus campestris, the honey-colored mushrooms, and Podaxan podaxis, the fairy ring mushrooms, are edible. The content of available food in them is not high, but they supply vitamins and are valuable as appetizers. Fungi as test organism. During the past 2 decades, fungi has been used to test various biological processes. Since they grow very fast and require a short period of time to complete their life cycles, the fungi are best suited for used as a test organism. Fungi form very good research material for genetical studies and other biological processes. Genus Neospora has become very good material for genetic studies, while Fusarium polycephalum is used to study steps in DNA synthesis, morphogenesis, and mitotic cycle.
We will now proceed to the 5 examples of fungi. Claviceps purpurea is an ergot fungus that produces sclerotia in the ovaries of the flowers of grasses. An example is ergot of rye. It grows on the ears of rye that are similar to forage plants. It is widely known for its uses in veterinary and human medicine, containing a mixture of alkaloids which cause quick and powerful contractions of the uterus. The next is Gibberella fujikuroi. This fungus produces gibberellins. It is widely known for its disease-making abilities because these are plant hormones which cause a disease of rice accompanied by abnormal elongation. Sometimes farmers use this fungus for it secretes the substance known as gibberellin, which is used to accelerate growth that is used by farmers for several horticultural crops. The next is Penicillium digitatum. It is a mesophilic fungus found in the citrus-producing plants which is responsible for rotting of citrus fruit. Milk and other milk products are spoiled and not fit for human consumption due to the growth of several fungi such as Penicillium. It also causes major problems in farmers for it causes the widespread post-harvest disease in citrus plants known as green rot or mold. Next is Amanita. Amanita may look pretty, but it is a mushroom which is fatally poisonous that can cause discomfort. Lastly, cheese molds. This fungus play an important role in the refining of cheese. They give cheese a characteristic texture and flavor.
The mold in fungi is responsible for the structure of spores. This mold is caused by hair-like filament structure of hyphae. These absorb the nutrients needed and carry it to the thallus. Fungi is produced through asexual and sexual reproduction. An example of sexual production are zygospore, ascospore, basidiospore, and in terms of asexual reproduction, we have sporangiospore and conidiospore. Fungi has a diverse function. In terms of ecological and economic factor, fungi plays a vital role. Without it, we can able to make cheese, alcoholic beverages, medical drugs, and even fertilizer for plants. Having a deeper understanding of mycology and its function led us to have a well-grounded scientific-based research, and through this, we can have an upgraded medication towards fungi pathogenesis. This is beneficial because it can help us to easily identify pathogenic fungi that can cause infection and diseases. And throughout this research, we can able to formulate new antibiotics.